Hey friends, it's me, Jenny. Welcome to the channel. I have to do a variety of gaming, learning game development skills, digital art, and I don't know, hula hoop and cat videos. Here on my YouTube channel, I like to do a variety of learning digital art, game dev skills, also other random highlights from my Twitch streams. But today I want to do a quick video about this cool service that I learned about through trying to figure out how to do this one thing on my website. So this video is for anyone who has their own website, whether you have your own business or a blog, vlog, devlog, landing page for your Twitch stream or your YouTube live. This video is good for anyone that has an interest in growing your own business or implementing videos into your website for whatever reason, whether it's for advertising your business or just because you have a YouTube channel and you want to host that on your own website. Basically, that's what I was thinking when I first got interested in figuring out what is the best way to go about doing this, because I know how to do an embed of a single video on YouTube, and that's really not that hard to do. If you just want to have one video embedded on your website or your blog on WordPress or Wix or Squarespace, then it's usually pretty easy to embed just one video or a playlist. And sometimes when you're doing like Squarespace or Wix, then they'll have templates where they'll make it really easy to do a full playlist and or like a video gallery on your website. But for myself, I'm using Bootstrap, and before that I was just using regular HTML and trying to do what I wanted to do is have my playlists from my YouTube channel embedded on my own website, jennynexus.com. But every time I add a new video to a playlist, then that playlist on my website would update automatically. So to do that, I figured out that I had to learn the Google API, and it's been pretty interesting learning about it, and I still have a long ways to go to really understand how all that works. But in the process, I found this really cool service called rss.app, and I figured that it would be worth telling you about because you can create really cool website templates like this one right here. This is basically my website right now, jennynexus.com, and if you go down to the footer, then you'll find these other options, and one of them is featured, and I might change this later, but I'm like, this is basically a work in progress down here. So under the featured, it'll take you over to my featured playlist. That's not really what I want to do. I want to keep people on my website, and so it would be great if I could actually embed all of these playlists on my own website. And I was looking into what is the best way to embed these playlists on my own site. You could do this right here. And these are some example pages that I made on my own website just to try things out. jennynexus.com/YouTube and jennynexus.com/gaming. Here's some examples of how you can embed your playlists and your video feed from YouTube onto your own website, whether your website is made with Bootstrap like mine and using HTML and CSS, or whether you're using Wix or Squarespace, WordPress, or any of those other template websites. You can totally use this system for any of those other website templates as well. You can embed video feeds or playlists from your own YouTube channel, or you can embed other feeds from your other social media as well on your website. You can use rss.app for your own website, whether or not you use Bootstrap like how I did, or whether you use WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, or any other blog template site like Blogger or Tumblr. Anywhere that you know how to edit your own HTML, you can add this type of embed using rss.app. I got really excited when I found out about this service because it does a lot of the things that I don't know how to actually do on my own, like coding the APIs so that it comes into my website and looks all fancy and beautiful. But right here, using rss.app, you can edit the way the embed looks for the feeds that you're importing into your own website. And they do have a free version that's free for 1 week. And then after that, you have to choose whether or not you want to upgrade to $5 a month is their bare minimum, or it's like $10 a month for the services that I like personally. I really had to sit down and think about my life and wonder, do I want to pay $10 a month for this amazing service? Because if I was a company that had a budget for promoting myself and my social media, rss.app is a really cool service if you're a company and Also, if you're an individual as well, but especially if you're a company that has a budget for promoting your social media or your YouTube channel, then this makes it a lot easier to import different feeds from your YouTube channel. And for myself, I really want to have different playlists added to my website so people can watch different videos from my playlists directly there on my own website instead of having to leave. And I do want to keep people on my YouTube channel as long as possible, but if they come to my website natively and they don't come to my website from YouTube, then I really want to be able to offer the videos from my YouTube channel right there on my website as well. So this is one way that you can do it. It does cost a little bit. I'll be honest, it was like a Friday night and I've been staying out of trouble, staying at home and looking into ways that I can boost my business and work on my own personal brand and looking into ways that I can promote my videos without shoving them in people's faces and stuff. And I thought, well, how can I make my own website better? And I thought, well, it would be really cool if I could embed different videos, like my different DIY fashion videos on different parts of my website, or different DIY tutorials on how to make your YouTube channel better. When you're on rss.app, then you can go over to right here. You'll see that you got your own profile with your account and stuff. And then you have my feeds and then new RSS feed. So just to give you an idea of what they have to offer, click right here on new RSS feed. That's how I got right here. And you can see that you can make a bunch of really cool RSS feeds. And this is a really good idea actually for anybody who wants to, hold on one second. If you happen to work for a company that has a budget for promoting different social media feeds, whether it's your own or other social media feeds from Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and looking through the RSS feed options here on the rss.app website, you can even import a feed that has CNN RSS feed. So technically what you could do is you could make a website that has a different feed for different topics, and then you could put ads on that website and theoretically make a profit through putting ads on a website if you are able to drive traffic to that website. And this is really cool because say you are a YouTuber, or say you have a Tumblr blog, or say you're really big on making collections over on Pinterest. I know I personally have a social media account everywhere, so I have a Twitter, a YouTube, I've got everything. I've got a Facebook page, I've got a Facebook group, I've got different Pinterest boards. I even make animated GIFs, so I do also have a Giphy. Lately, I hate to admit it, but I've been watching a lot more news, so when I see that there's New York Times and CNN right here, it makes me think, I could actually make a news website just based on RSS feeds. So if you were able to monetize these feeds on your own blog or website, then definitely $5 or $10 a month would be worthwhile. I personally am a big nerd, so I've been wondering how can I learn the API and write that code myself. But rss.app is super awesome if you don't have the time, or why would you want to ever learn the code? I'm personally thinking about like a few different sites that I could make. Just looking down this list, it really makes me think about some different websites that I could make that I've been thinking about making. For example, on my own website, if you scroll down to the footer, you can find this part where it says DIY fashion. And I was thinking about using this import system on this page as well, because right here you can see I have a few different videos embedded on my website. And I did this by just embedding regular playlists. But first of all, you can't really see all the videos in that playlist unless you know to click on those little 3 lines right there, which are a hamburger. So say you embed a playlist from YouTube the regular way that you would do it, and then you would have to know to click on those 3 lines right here, that hamburger. Where a knitting tool might come in handy. But I would really like to embed playlists on my website that have each of these videos from each of these playlists displayed nicely on my website. So that's what got me into wanting to look into how to do that and make it look good. I have these right here, but I was thinking about different ways to do that, and so rss.app is another way to do that for sure, and it makes it look better. Here's something else I wanted to embed on my own site, and I was just trying to do this as well as I could. my noob skills. I was able to embed my Instagram right here. I have one single Instagram post, and I used HTML to encapsulate this particular post. For me, once I learned a little bit of HTML and CSS and realized how fun it is to customize my own website, that is actually how it all started for me. Is I had a MySpace and a Tumblr blog. I think I had an AOL account at one point, and then I had a MySpace, and I was learning how to customize my own pages. And I remember so long ago when YouTube actually had it so that you could customize the entire front page of your YouTube channel. And I'll never forget when you could customize the entire front page of your YouTube channel. Back in the day, that was so cool. Customizing MySpace. So within your own YouTube videos, there is still quite a bit of freedom. And so long as you keep a copy of your own YouTube videos somewhere safe on a hard drive or a solid state hard drive somewhere, or somewhere safe up on a cloud, then you would probably be safe, you know, and save all your important videos somewhere on an external hard drive or somewhere on a cloud that is not YouTube. Because what if you get locked out of your own account or something like that? Take whatever precautions that you can and do whatever you can to be safe when you have important files on your computer, or whether they're video files or notes or passwords. Be sure to change your passwords often, at least a couple times a year, I would say. I don't know, everyone has their own idea of what is the best way to keep your passwords and your files safe, but I would just say make sure to keep a backup or a couple of backups, not just of your project files, but of the project itself. So save different versions of the project itself, not just saving the same project over and over. Because you could be pressing Control S and thinking that you're saving the same project a lot, but you might want to save different versions all the time as well. I guess that's a bit of a tangent, but just so you know, that is one tip that that's a tip that could be good for video editing or photo editing or anything else like that where you have important files. I realized that you can make a Tumblr blog, and you still can. You can make 100 Tumblr blogs. I don't know if there's a max on how many Tumblr blogs that you can make, but I feel like Tumblr really did a good job with making it so that you can have one account and then you can have several different Tumblr blogs within one account, and that was really nifty and convenient. If you ever wanted to make your own Tumblr blog, I would definitely recommend giving it a whirl, because personally, as an independent artist, I feel like to make a Tumblr blog or a blogger, which is a blogger is a Google blog. So I don't know, what do you think about Google Plus, G Plus? Google Plus eventually went out of style, and some people did put in a lot of effort into that, and then it eventually went out of style and doesn't even exist anymore. So there is still Tumblr, and I feel like Tumblr blogs have existed before Facebook and probably after. I made my first Tumblr blogs a really long time ago, and even to this day I see the valid point in making a blog using Tumblr, because even with Blogger on Google, I wouldn't necessarily trust Blogger because Google Plus went out of style. So who's to say that Blogger is not going to go out of business next? I don't know. Anyway, Blogger is and was a free blog. That I have one. I don't know. I don't think that really anyone looks at it. But one way to look at that type of thing is to just go into your own analytics and see, does anyone even visit this blog throughout the month or whatever. But sometimes when I'm on my YouTube videos, then I'll notice that you could just share your YouTube videos on different blog sites or other like Twitter or YouTube, and you can choose how do you want to share your YouTube videos on each social media. Often people might mention that if you're going to share a video on your different social media, then you might want to upload that video natively if you can, or say if it's on Twitter, you can upload a short native video to Twitter that's a preview of the longer video and link to that video on YouTube. Different people have different ways about going about it, and I would say look at your analytics and do some research and see what works best for you and your channel, and what times are best for you during the day to post and things like that. One thing that I noticed is that learning a little bit of HTML and CSS through editing my own Tumblr blog back in the day, realizing that I want to make my own website, and even when I made my first website, I was embedding my Tumblr blog, like literally cutting and pasting the HTML from my Tumblr blog and learning that way how does HTML work? How does the CSS work? Where do you put the header? Where do you put the body? And you only want one header, one body, one footer. There's a start tag and an end tag for each of those sections on your website or your blog. And so you do not want a million body tags on your website. And when I was trying to teach myself HTML, that was one of the biggest mistakes that I went for the longest, not realizing that I was making a huge mistake by accidentally cutting and pasting code from the internet when I was Google searching and trying to cut and paste and learn that I was accidentally cutting more headers and more body tags than necessary. And that should be obvious to anyone going about this like the traditional route. If you're learning through traditional HTML classes online or in school, then you would know that you're not making a website with a bunch of header tags and body tags. And so right here on your website, whether there's PHP here or not, if you're not using any PHP, then don't worry about it. But for me, I have a lot of my header directly in PHP. So my header is right here. You're just not going to see it all spelled out unless I open up the headers separately. Here's my Facebook SDK. So this is a bit of script, JavaScript, I think. This is my Facebook script right here, and that enables any Facebook widgets that we want to have on our website. And that has to come right before the body tag starts. So right before you start your body, then you would want to have that Facebook tag. It might work if you put that tag somewhere else as well, but I've had the best luck putting my Facebook script tag right there. Sometimes I'll use break tags right here, and I might be generous with my break tags, but you can also be smart about it and add a bunch of different settings in your CSS. And if you're using Bootstrap, then all you have to do to override the classic Bootstrap settings is add one custom CSS file to your website. And sorry if I'm speaking Greek to some people. I figured that I'll just share a little bit about what I've learned, and if this is like Greek to someone else watching, then I'm sorry. If anyone's watching that knows a better way to go about certain things, then I'm definitely open to learning more HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, or ways of using JavaScript or embedding video files or other ways to display your videos from YouTube using API, Google API. But I am honestly just really interested in learning how does this stuff work, how can I integrate it in my own website, and what is the best way to do this, and also obviously what is the free way to do it. Like, I may not have all the time in the world, but I do love learning, and so I really like to learn how does that work, and can we learn a good way to add our own videos on our own website. So if you look at my website, jennynexus.com, and check out some of the different pages, you'll see I use some different ways to embed videos, as well as learning how to do live stream embeds on my website. And something I learned how to do recently, I was so proud that I literally floored myself when I realized that I was capable. I had to ask my friend to help, but I realized how to do this one thing where you add a password before you can enter a particular page on my own website. And I was like, this is perfect for anyone that subscribes on my Patreon. Then I can give them the password and they can come into this special part on my website. Feel free to join the Patreon, which honestly is not really much more than what I'm already doing. So if you would like to join my Patreon, just know that it's pretty much what I'm already doing. Once in a while, I might add some little behind the scenes pictures on there, or video clips or selfies and things like that, but nothing really crazy. Pretty much my Patreon is pretty normal and awesome, and it is marked 18 plus, just in case, you know, I don't want to offend anybody. And I do like that they give you that option there. So I don't know that much about HTML or CSS, but I do know that in my own header right here, which does override some of the Bootstrap CSS default stuff. So one of my favorite things is making a div that has MX auto, which means that I'm going to have an automatic spacing around each of my things within that div. Right here, we have it set so that the style is only width of 80%. Bootstrap has a default container width, which is, I don't know what the percentage is, but it is sometimes a little bit small for me. So I like to set my container width usually right here like this with the style, because you can do 90%, 80%, 75%, and then you can align it like this right here, and you can say left or right. But center is usually how I would do it. And then if I want to change something like a paragraph within this div that's centered, then I would make that paragraph alone. You could say text left. But if for some reason you're not sure that it's going to have center, then you can put text dash center like that. This is just a quick example of the HTML that goes into this particular page on my site, which is the DIY page. But I wanted to tell you more specifically how easy it is to get a video feed using the rss.app site. And look at how small this is right here. I'm just gonna highlight this and I'll show you. I'll just scroll up. All this part right here is like commented out and it's just green. This green commented out part right here does not show up on my website at all because I used to just have this. And this is just like a video embed that is a YouTube live stream embed right here. This you can't see because it's commented out. But right here, this is totally not commented out right here. So right here, all you have to do is you can choose how you want your div, your container for your video feed, and then just put the RSS app feed right here. And that's all it is this nice little widget. And I'll show you how it looks when you get to go customize it, and you can see all the cool settings that we went through to customize something that looks just like these pages right here. This one right here is from my gaming channel, so this is any video that I uploaded to my gaming channel on YouTube. But it's really nice to have all of these right here on my own website, jennynexus.com/gaming. This is the version that does not use RSS app, but you can see how the playlists just look a little bit different. They're not displayed all nice. They don't look as good. Once you make an account here on rss.app, they give you a membership that's 7 days free trial of the premium version. And so I got so excited. I was making all my designs on my website based on the premium version, which is $10 a month, which is totally understandable. Go right over here to YouTube RSS feed. And then that's where you would add the URL to whatever playlist or video feed from whatever channel you're going for. So say I want to have voice acting feed of this here playlist from my YouTube channel. My voice acting playlist right here. I'm just clicking on the titles so you can get to the main page of the playlist that you want to embed on your website. Voice acting, Jenny Nexus. Here's the playlist URL and here's the code right here. So I'm just going to take the whole entire URL and copy that by pressing Ctrl+C and paste it right here, the whole URL, generate. Here's the RSS feed right here. It's been generated, it's just the text, but if you want to embed it on your site, and you can customize it, just press embed, and then looks like this by default, but you can customize that by going right here on that cog, and here's where all the really fun customized options are. And I get so pumped up about how cool this is right here. You can choose general, number of posts up to 24. I think you can actually, you can choose the padding on the edge. My favorite thing to customize is the background right here. And you can use these colors right here. And also, not only can you choose the background color, but you can also get the transparency. So on my website, my background color on my website is a gradient. If you have this at partial transparency, then you'll be able to see the gradient behind this right here, which is kind of cool. Or if somebody has dark mode on their browser or some other settings for their own preference, then if you have transparency here, it might look kind of nice with their own settings. Sometimes I don't really want this right here, because I might want to have my own title with my own settings with my HTML on my own website. And right here, you can turn off the title right here if you don't want that. And then you can go over here to the card settings and you can say yes or no for the title. If you want it more looking, if you want it to look more streamlined, turn off that show title. But if you do want the title, you can turn down the font size like to 11 or 12, press enter. Title color, you can turn it to blue or purple or something. You can say that you do want the image to be clickable to turn it on. You can also say the description color. Background color, once again, you can make this transparent, which is kind of cool. I don't know why I like the transparency so much. I feel like it just looks a little bit different no matter what viewer you're using. And then you can choose, do you want the footer or do you not want the footer? And that just says YouTube at the bottom. I like it because it has the date, so you can see how old a video is. Some of these are pretty old. You can also choose the color of the footer. One other option you can consider is the card style when you're under the general settings. You can go to modern. Modern looks a little bit different. You can choose the font family. I personally like either Arial or sans serif or Roboto. They're all pretty cool. Anyway, so once you got this, how you like it. Now this says number of posts 24, but as you can see, there's only 16 right here in the preview. So I don't know what's up with that. I think that you can choose 6, and that seems to work. I think that you can only do up to 20. I don't know. I don't know why. It looks like you can go up to 16. And then you can copy the code right here, and then you can embed this on your own website. So this is all commented out, and this, just pretend like this isn't even here. Just don't even look. I'll put it right beneath the other one. So we have the first one and then the second one here. So we just updated my website with the settings that we put, and we put it so that our next embed would be just beneath the first one, and it looks great. Look at that. You can totally see the gradient behind the transparent embed, and you can see right here between where the first collection ends and the second one begins. Looks really nice. So each one looks a little bit different because each one has slightly different settings. On the second collection, this one playlist from the voice acting playlist on YouTube, this one we did not add the share buttons. The first one we did, and on the background's just a little bit different colors and stuff like that. It just depends how you want to embed it. One thing I like to do is when I'm on my own blog or website, I like to right click and press inspect element. And when I do that, then I can go over here and press on this responsive design mode. And right here inside Firefox, you can get a view of what it would look like to view your website or blog when you're looking at it through either an iPhone. Right now we're looking at an iPhone style. I personally use a Samsung Galaxy S9 phone, so this is what it would look like if I was looking at it on my own phone. So right now, right off the bat, you can see that the videos look amazing. They look beautifully embedded using rss.app. Down here at the bottom already now, you can see we're in the voice acting section, and there's my footer down here. So rss.app looks awesome. Embedding my custom playlists right here looks good on a phone. I have another problem with this page on here because obviously I need to give some more space if we're on a phone because it's all smushed up here. Sometimes I literally forget what is the HTML to do something in particular that I'm trying to do. So if I remember where I did it before, where it was working, I'll just go over there and get it. If you're using Bootstrap, then they make it really easy to hide certain portions of your website. And that's what we're going to do right here. If we're on mobile, then we're going to say, definitely add a little bit more space. 3 breaks if we are on mobile. Alright, that looks a lot better after adding a couple of breaks on my site. So it looks so nice. I really want to learn how to do this without relying on another service, but God knows how long it's going to take before I learn how to use the Google API properly. And also it gives me a lot of ideas about using APIs for other purposes as well. So I'll keep you updated on how... I'll keep you updated, hold on. I love using this viewer because you can see what does your website or blog look like on different mobile devices, and this will give you a good idea of how it might not look so good on certain devices. This one is the phone that I personally use, the Samsung Galaxy, so you can turn it to the side and see what your website looks like once the phone is turned sideways. And this is actually really cool in my opinion, the way the RSS app is responsive. Right here in the settings, you can choose whether or not it is responsive. And if you choose for it to not be responsive, you can choose how many columns and how big each one is in width. I personally like the responsiveness. So I've done quite a bit of embedding single videos or playlists on my website but I was really glad to find rss.app and see how cool it can look. Next, I'll be trying to figure out how can I style the imported information from my YouTube channel. So we got this right here. Also, let's see, my feeds right here. So that's voice acting right here. And then let's check out a couple of these other options just for fun. Let's see, what does it look like when we, which one do we want to choose? There's no Twitch feed on here. What does it look like when we add our Tumblr feed? A lot of my Tumblr blog is actually just sharing my YouTube videos lately, but it looks great. I mean, you can kind of get the same idea that the Tumblr posts. Pretty fun, and there are ways to have multiple feeds in one feed for your site as well, so you can look into different ways to customize these feeds. Well, that's pretty much it for now, friends. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope that you got some value out of it, or at least got some ideas for your blog, or if you have any suggestions for me, let me know in the comments below. Oh yeah, what else was I gonna say? Thanks so much for watching the video, friends, and yeah, stay in touch if you like. I'll leave links below. And if you enjoyed this video, I don't know, what was I gonna say? Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll catch you next time. I'll leave some links in the description below that might be of interest to you, and I would be curious to hear from you. Do you know of a better way to display playlists or video feeds on your website? Do you have any better suggestions? Have you written this type of code? This was the first really good service that I found that happened to fit what I was looking for, but so far this is definitely better than me trying to do it on my own. The only other cool tutorial I would mention that I found, I wound up finding this particular tutorial that did help me put together some other type of feed. This guy right here was doing a YouTube app, and technically some of the ways that he was going about it would work for your website as well. So it looks like this. I went through his tutorial and it looked like this in the end. This is one particular playlist and it looks great. It's a particular width, and when it hovers it's got red, and this was actually really fun. So one thing I noticed is that it's really fun to do these shared Codepens. So if you never tried Codepen.io, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's an easy way to shared code. Github is also really awesome. If you're trying to learn code or software development, then I would definitely recommend checking out Manning Publications online as well. They've got a lot of really cool educational products, as well as some free things as well on their site. Thanks for watching the video, friends, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye.